Hello, and welcome to It Came from the Unknowns, a weekly sci-fi horror short story podcast featuring new, upcoming, or unheard of authors, hosted and narrated by yours truly, Ryan Barella. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the unknown. Hello and welcome to episode 7. Hey, we're still chugging along, right? So this is our second in our holiday series. Today we've got Piper's Magical Christmas by Bruce Rowe, narrated by yours truly, Ryan Barella. This is a cute, fun little one, nice quick little story, kind of creepy, little quirky one about everyone's favorite new holiday tradition. Bruce Rowe resides in North Bend, Oregon, where he spends his time writing, playing guitar, and exploring beautiful landscapes. His books include his epic fantasy novel, The Chrysalis and the Creatures of the Highlands, and his children's picture book, Abdiel and the Master of the Manger. You can find more of Bruce's works on spellwords.com. If you do like what you hear and you'd like to support us, feel free to check out our Patreon over at patreon.com/itcamefromtheunknowns. If you'd like to submit a story, please email me your story in PDF form or link, along with your name and brief bio to itcamefromtheunknowns@gmail.com. For now, get cozy, turn down your lights where applicable, and let's prepare to take a journey into the unknowns. Piper's Magical Christmas by Bruce Rowe. In only 5 more sleeps, Piper's mom told her, Santa will mount his sleigh and head from the North Pole to deliver toys to all the good boys and girls. Piper, who was the youngest sibling, only 3 years old, was enjoying some one-on-one time with her mom. Her older brother Sebastian was in elementary school. He didn't get out for several more hours. It was his last day before Christmas vacation. Her dad was busy at work, being a stage manager. She only knew that it meant he built stages when music groups or people who liked to talk to other people came to town. Therefore, that just left her and her mom shopping at the mall. Her mom told her she wanted to buy a few more decorations for the house, and she was going to let Piper pick out one for her very own. She said it could be a special ornament to hang on the tree every year. When she grew up and got her own tree, she could take it with her to remind her of all the happy Christmases she had growing up. On the other hand, it could be a brand new stocking to hang near the fireplace. Whatever she wanted, her mom would get it for her. Browsing through the Christmas section, Piper noticed a doll dressed like one of Santa's helpers. Sitting in the shopping cart, she pointed to the doll. Mama, can I see that one? Her mother took it from the shelf and handed it to her. It's called Elf on the Shelf, sweetheart. You take him home and set him up anywhere you like. The next morning, you find him in another spot, and no one knows when or how it happens. Oh, Mama, please can I have it, please? Piper asked, bobbing up and down, excited with her arms wrapped around the box. As with all smart children her age, Piper was a faithful believer in Santa and magic. Her mom turned the box over, checking the price. $30 is a lot of money for a piece of stuffed red and green material. Please, Mama, Piper pleaded. Her mom saw the desperate look in her eyes and decided to give in. Back at home, her mom took the elf out of the box. Where should we put him first? She asked Piper. Set him in the middle of the wreath over the fireplace, Piper answered. Her mom did as she requested. Later that night, while the family sat eating dinner, Piper's dad noticed the elf. "So, you bought the elf on the shelf, huh?" he asked her mom. "Yes, Piper wanted it so bad, so I thought, what could it hurt?" "This should be fun," Sebastian said, scooping green beans onto his fork. "My friend at school said his parents bought one, and they've woken up and found him in 3 different places already." "Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy," Piper said, waving her legs in her high chair full of anticipation. The elf's head fell slightly to the right. Their beagle Chewy, sitting on the hearth of the fireplace, gave out a bark while staring up at the elf. The next morning the family came downstairs to eat breakfast before starting their day. Piper's dad carried her to her high chair and began strapping her in. "Looky, looky, he's moved!" Piper yelled. Turning, her father noticed it too, along with her mom and brother. "Where could he be?" her mom asked, looking over to Piper's father with a wink. Piper's father looked around the room. "I don't know," he said, surprised. Sebastian giggled. "What's funny, Bastian?" Piper asked in a stern tone. "Oh, nothing," he answered, looking over to his mom with a smile. From the kid's bedroom, near the front of the house, came a growl, then a quick, snapping bark. After a short moment, in walked Chewy with the elf riding on his back. The family burst into laughter. Piper's father looked over to her mom, shaking his head and shrugging his shoulders. Before leaving for work, Piper's dad hugged her mom and told her he would be late, that he had to supervise a stage setup for a rock group playing later that night at the convention center, but that he would be home by dinner. She said that was fine, and it would give her plenty of time for some last-minute Christmas shopping. Before leaving the mall, Piper's mom put the elf high up on the bookshelf in the living room, so Chewy wouldn't use it for a chew toy. When he was a puppy, there wasn't anything he wouldn't shred or chew to a splintered pulp. That is how he came to be called Chewy. After hours of shuffling through the crowds at the mall, mother, son, and daughter finally made it back home. Piper was the first to walk in the front door. She stopped in the entryway and started laughing uncontrollably. "What's so funny, sweetheart?" her mom asked. Piper pointed towards the dining room. Her mother gasped and dropped the 2 overfilled shopping bags she was carrying. Sebastian started laughing as well. Later that evening, Piper's father came home from work. "I need to talk to you," her mom said to her dad. "Upstairs." Entering the bedroom, her mom shut the door behind them. Piper noticed that they always shut the door when one parent needs to talk to the other in private. She could hear her mom's voice from her own bedroom down the hall, but could not make out what she was saying. Putting the elf on the dog was cute and hilarious, but us coming home in the middle of the day and finding it sitting on the chandelier over the dining room table was a bit disturbing. "But I didn't. I was at—" "Stop it, please. That stunt just about gave me a heart attack. And what did you do? Wait for us to get home, then dash out the back door?" "Look, I was at the convention center all day. You can call Donnie and ask him if you like. I just left there 45 minutes ago. And what do you mean by dash out the back door?" "Not only was it sitting in the chandelier, but the chandelier was swinging." "So what you're telling me is while everyone was gone today, the elf on a shelf had a wild party and you busted him swinging on the chandelier?" he asked with a crooked smirk. "Not funny," her mom said, raising her voice. "I've already put it back in the box and in the bag. I'm returning it tomorrow." That part Piper heard clear as a bell and became very sad to the point of crying. The next morning, after breakfast, Piper's dad set off to work, and she and her brother found themselves with her mom heading back to the mall. Walking up to the return desk, her mom placed the bag on the counter. "I would like to return this item, please," she told the cashier. The cashier pulled the box from the bag. "And what item would that be, ma'am?" "The elf on the shelf, of course," her mom said directly. The cashier turned the box toward them, and they noticed it was empty. "Which one of you took it?" her mom asked, turning towards the kids. "I didn't," said Sebastian with a surprised expression. "I didn't either, I promise," answered Piper, her eyes glazing. "If I get home and find it in one of your rooms, someone is going to be on restriction for a very long time," her mom said, waving an angry finger at them both. She grabbed the box and stuffed it back into the bag, apologized to the cashier, and they left for home. Returning home, Piper's mom had her and Sebastian sit on the couch while she diligently searched their bedrooms. She rifled through the dresser drawers. With a broom she swept toys and clothes from under their beds, and slid clothes hanging in the closet from one side to the other. "I'm scared," Piper said to her brother. "What if he sneaks into my room and she finds him? Mom will think I've been bad and Santa won't bring me anything." Shh, it'll be all right. We know he didn't do anything with it, Sebastian said, putting his arm around her. Besides, Uncle Josh is a policeman. We could ask him to come over and throw dust on it for fingerprints. Then Mom will know that you didn't touch it, and Santa will bring us our stuff. With no luck finding the elf in their bedrooms, her mom stomped down the stairs and searched through all the kitchen cabinets, opening and slamming, opening and slamming. She looked through the refrigerator, under the cushions on the couch and chairs, in the hall closet, and finally she went to the kids' playroom, pulled out every toy bin and searched through every jacket closet, but still with no luck. She walked back into the living room, huffing and puffing, and stared at the kids, who now sat among disheveled cushions. Okay, one last time. Where is it? She demanded. I promise, Mom, we didn't take it, Sebastian said, with all the truth he could muster in his voice. You know I'm going to tell your father when he gets home, and if I have half a mind to call Santa before he leaves and tell him what you've done, she said sternly, with her hands on her hips. But, Mama, we didn't take it. I want him back as you do, but more. He was my magical friend, Piper said with tears in her eyes. Seeing her daughter's tears running down her cheeks melted her heart. She knew then she had let her anger get the best of her. She had taken it too far. She knelt and cradled Piper in her arms. Mama is so sorry, sweetheart. I'm not going to tell Santa anything. You've both been so good this year. She eased back so she could see Piper's tear-stained face. I will have to tell Dada, though, because he'll ask where it's at. But he won't be mad, okay? Piper shook her head and wiped her tears away. Later that evening, when Piper's dad came home, she heard her mom telling him everything that had happened, how she went to return the elf only to find it was not in the box, and how she turned the house inside out, whatever that meant, and now the darn thing was missing. She said the kids were not to blame, that she had apparently set it somewhere, thinking she had put it in the box and just forgot where. To ensure they would have a happy Christmas, her dad reached into his back pocket and pulled $30 from his wallet to replace the money her mom had spent on the elf. Do you want to buy another one? He asked. Oh, God, no, she said. They both started laughing. Though she missed her magical friend, hearing their laughter made Piper the happiest little girl at Christmas. It was Christmas Eve, and Piper and Sebastian put a plate of chocolate chip cookies and a glass of milk on a small coffee table next to the fireplace. They went outside in the front yard with their mom and dad and left a bucket of carrots for Santa's reindeer so they would have the energy to fly around the world and back to the North Pole. Before running up the stairs for bed, they watched the news with their parents and discovered that Santa had just left Japan and was heading to America, first stop, California. They looked at each other with their mouths wide open, turned and ran up the stairs, jumping into bed. That Christmas came and went, as did the New Year. Everything was merry and bright. The elf, however, was never found. Only magical whispers and quiet giggles could be heard coming from Piper's bedroom after everyone else was in bed, fast asleep. Welcome back. You were just listening to Piper's Magical Christmas by Bruce Rowe, narrated by yours truly, Ryan Barella. I hope you enjoyed that one. It was definitely a little different take on that new Christmas tradition that everyone seems to be doing. Definitely makes me think twice before wanting to invite that into my house. We're still got a few more slots open for December for holiday stories. So if you've got something holiday in theme, sci-fi, mystery, horror, fantasy, something weird along those lines, be sure to get it in right away so I can get it on. We've got 2 more spots open, so let's see if we can fill that up with some holiday weirdness. Again, if you enjoyed this and want to help support, you can check us out over on Patreon at patreon.com/itcamefromtheunknowns. We have a digital subscription where you can also get an ebook of the stories for each month, as well as a t-shirt subscription which will feature each month's cover. It's a great way to look fashionable and support upcoming authors. Got a sci-fi or horror short story you want to hear narrated out for the whole world? Email me your story in PDF form or link, along with your name and brief bio to itcamefromtheunknowns@gmail.com. Thank you again for taking the time to check out It Came From the Unknowns, a weekly sci-fi horror short story podcast featuring new, upcoming, or unheard of authors, hosted and narrated by yours truly, Ryan Barella. I'll leave you now with one of my favorite lines. It goes, "Let us say then that my listeners are an uncommon herd." Stay weird, everyone.